Has anybody ever told you to grow up? Has anybody ever told you to stop acting like a child? Well, in that moment, it was probably for a purpose and it was probably a good thing, but it could also be a bad thing. And if you ask yourself, well, how could it be a bad thing? Well, the fact of the matter is that childlike imagination is so important. And think about it this way. When you were a child, everything seemed so believable, right? You never had a biased opinion toward anything. You were never filtered. Like, it was just like whatever you saw, you could actually create something that made it feel real. Right? That's why children are so amazing when it comes to, Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, and they could imagine how there's truth to it all and they could have fun with it. And there's nothing holding them back from just acting like they could, conquer the world almost, right? They see these cartoons on TV and they want to be superheroes, and they're just having fun with it. And the more I think about that childlike imagination, the more I realize how important it is that we don't lose that childlike imagination. Well, why is that? Well, think about it this way. In life, even right now, we use our imagination before we actually take action towards something. We think about the actionable steps before we actually move toward to taking action. So think about it this way. When you wake up in the morning, if you did not prepare the night before, you were probably thinking about what it is you're going to wear for that day. And in your mind, you're probably scanning through your drawers and scanning through your closet, trying to figure out, what do I have that's available that would be good for today? And once you figure out what that outfit is, you're probably scanning and looking for exactly where it is in the closet or in the drawer. And you're thinking about, well, what pair of shoes do I have that'll go with that outfit? Well, the whole point of me saying all this is we don't take action until we can actually see things first, right? If you're going to make breakfast, you're probably thinking about where the eggs are located in the fridge. You can picture yourself taking them out. You can picture yourself going into the hall closet and grabbing the pancake mix, and mixing everything all together. If you're thinking, do I have butter? You're scanning through the fridge, trying to figure out if you do have butter or not, the last time you used it. We think about things before we take action. And the more context, the more details we have, the better the action becomes, because we actually start understanding the evolution of the steps that we need to take in order to create something, in order to do something. Well, I think that's where it's important that we don't lose this childlike imagination, because the more details that you can have and the more context you can have in your thoughts, the better. But the thing is, where kids have an edge and we lose it as adults is we stop having faith that things are possible. We start having limitations on what life can actually provide to us. We start thinking in our own ways of our own control. How is this going to happen? How, if I want $1 million, how's that ever going to come to be? If I'm trying to get out of debt and I'm $60,000 in debt, I can't see the end result. I can't see how to get there. It seems impossible, right? And I think that is where the childlike imagination kicks in, and you don't have to think about the outcome. Think about it this way. If you were always thinking about what is possible based on your own evidence of what you think is actually going to be real for you, well, it would be hard for you to ever accomplish anything. Right? Life is giving us so many gaps in what we think is possible that it's just so hard to see light at the end of the tunnel in so many different situations. But when you stop thinking about how things are going to happen and you start understanding the fact of, okay, this is the position I'm in, this is my current reality, what are actionable steps I can take little by little in order to start actually getting toward my goal, right? Sometimes that's creating a budget. Sometimes that is just taking actionable steps toward maybe limiting some of the things that you do on the weekend that maybe you don't need to do. Maybe it's reducing the amount of streaming services you pay on a monthly basis. Whatever it is, you can take little actionable steps toward helping you out. It doesn't mean that you have to look and say, how am I going to get all the way to the end? It's how are you going to take that little bit, chip away little by little in order to get there. And the other thing is having faith that is absolutely possible for you to achieve this end goal, right? So if you're trying to buy a new home, or you're trying to find the love of your life, or you're trying to get out of debt, or you're trying to have a kid, whatever it is, it doesn't mean that you have to look at the whole big picture and get overwhelmed thinking it seems impossible for me to ever get there based on where I currently am. See, that's where faith kicks in. That's where God kicks in. When you offer all this anxiety and all this stress, because that's all it is right now, it's absolutely possible for you to get to the end result. There's other people in this life that have successfully achieved what you are trying to achieve, meaning that is absolutely possible. We are all humans. We all have the capability to learn, grow, develop, and it takes actionable steps with faith in order to get to an end result. I think that is where you can almost be jealous of a child, because they're never worried about an outcome. They're only worried about the present time right now. And I think that's important. I think that's important to kind of think about. Really, if you think about the present moment right now is what you can actually do something about. You can't do anything about what is in the future unless you start taking care of the present moment. And it's funny, Proverbs 3:5-6, it says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." See, that's the problem that we all face. We all have our own understanding of what we think is possible when we can't even understand that miracles are being performed every single day. People are being provided things that they never thought were possible every single day. And those people, the ones that it's provided to, are the ones that had faith. They knew 100% truth. It was 100% fact that you cannot break their mental understanding that what they wanted was going to be accomplished. You know, you think about all these different, movie stars and sports heroes, like Michael Jordan. Like, he saw it in his mind. He saw it all the time of him being successful. You know, he practiced every single day. He used to skip school. Don't skip school, kids. But he used to skip school and practice shooting because he wanted to get better at his craft. He took actionable steps because he had faith, knowing that no matter what it took, he was going to achieve it. See, that's the thing. You have to have faith, but you have to take the actionable steps in order to move in that faith in the right direction. But don't lean on your own understanding of what you think is possible, because anything is possible if you have faith and you trust in God to move you in the right direction. And as He moves you, it's going to be your responsibility to take those actionable steps necessary in order to improve your skill, in order to get better at your craft, in order to really maximize the gifts that He's bestowed upon you. And if you stop thinking with a capped mental mindset and you start thinking with that childlike imagination where anything is possible, and you don't allow the stress and anxiety to kick in on what the end result can look like, that's when the miracles kick in. That's when things start moving in the right direction. That's when the right people start coming into your life out of absolutely nowhere and mentoring you, and you didn't even realize what was happening until you look back on it and be like, wow, I can't believe all these little things, these little steps took place in order to get me to where I am right now. Sometimes you look back and it's like, how did this even all happen? You've heard this before, right? I remember when I was first getting to football scouting, I'm just a guy watching football on TV, and I had all these ideas because I was a physical trainer, and I was watching the mechanics of the way the players move, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put my stuff on Twitter. I'm just going to put my ideas on Twitter. I'm going to give some insight on what I think about this player on Twitter. Next thing I know, I got the right people reaching out to me, asking me, hey, I like what I'm hearing from you. You know, would you like to write about this, or would you like this opportunity or that opportunity? Next thing you know, things started moving in the course of an action that I couldn't even have imagined. You know, within 2 years, I had met so many different people that empowered me, that gave me opportunity. I was able to go through the NFL Scouting Academy, meet Dan Hatman, who's the CEO, incredible human being. And the next thing you know, things were just moving in the right direction. You know, and right now, this week, I'm off to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, something I never thought was absolutely ever going to be possible for me. You know, and I'm going to be able to interview players. And the thing that you have to understand is whatever you think is impossible, it's not. It's not. You just have to have faith, and you have to keep moving in the right direction with the right actionable steps, knowing that what you want to achieve is going to happen. You just got to keep at it. Don't give up. Don't allow little speed bumps to stop you. Don't allow little things that deter you from the outcome based on, minor glitches, or it gets a little bit too hard, or you don't have enough views, or people aren't following you on your profile. It doesn't matter. That has nothing to do with anything. When you do something and you do it with the right mental attitude, you will accomplish it. It just might not be on the watch that you want. It might not be on your timeline. Sometimes things have to happen. Sometimes the right timeline has to be in place for you to be prepared for that next level that you're trying to get to. You cannot be at the end result in the same lack and limitational mindset that you currently are right now, where you don't think anything is possible. This person would not make it to that end result. You have to go through adversities. You have to go through challenges. You have to be battle tested in order to get to that end result. And a lot of that is going to allow you to really trust in God and have faith that no matter what happens, no matter what you go through, even if it's something difficult, there's a reason for it. There's a lesson for it that you have to take out of it. If you think about every single day, even when bad things happen, if you can look back and say, what can I learn from this? What was the reason this happened? Why did I go through this challenge? There's always a reason for it. And if you could take something from it, you're never going to have a bad day. You're only going to have lessons that are going to get you to the best day of your life. That day when you finally know that you accomplished the thing that you were trying to achieve and you took the actionable steps with faith to get there, man, there's no greater feeling than that, And when you take yourself out of it and you think about that end result and how it can impact others, your family, friends, people around you, maybe you just want to serve others to the highest of your ability. When you remove yourself and you are selfless and you don't act in a selfish nature and you think to yourself, how can I do this so I can better improve other people's lives? Miracles upon miracles will continue to happen, because even with this whole football thing, it was amazing to me. The people that I've met, I was able to actually share my story, my gifts, my skills as far as improving their lives. Like sometimes the gift that you have, when you can't see, well, how can I use this to better serve others? How is my, enthusiasm with sports or my love of art? How, if I'm truly trying to change people's lives, how can I do that? It's not for you to worry about. It's not for you to worry about. You were given a gift, and there will open a way for you to make a difference with that gift. No matter what you think is possible, something better is going to be more available for you. You just have to be relaxed, be open-minded, and understand that you don't have control of the outcome, okay? But you have control over the present moment right now and what you do with it and how you act and the mental state that you put yourself into. Faith is the vital key ingredient to making all of this happen, because without faith, you're going to go through this completely blind. And every time you hit a dead end, every time things become too hard, every time something happens where you have to overcome adversity, you don't have the faith to break through it, and it's going to stop you. You have to have faith. You have to know that everything is going to work out the way that you see it, the way God intended it for you. And He is going to create the path that is going to lead you toward the end result that you ultimately desire. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you can't see the outcome in the way that you think it could happen doesn't mean that outcome isn't going to take place. Sometimes, most of the time, things happen in a way that we never even thought possible. It's even better than what we assumed our path or our thoughts of how we would get there would be. It's even easier. It's not as hard. And sometimes it is harder. But when we get there, sometimes the path to get there is just like you never expected it. Or you never expected the person to come in your life to help you get there. Or you never expected the resource or the tool to be available for you to get to that end result, but it was provided to you. Have faith. Trust in the process that God has on your life, and maximize your gifts and abilities to the way that you should, so you can do greater things in this life. With the right amount of faith, anything is possible. I hope this video helps you guys. I'll see you in the next one.